It's torso time. Second to last torso in the scramble section of Combiner Wars. I'm Mike Dezaras Prime, back with the final part of the Bruticus review, and we are looking today at Onslaught. I'm going to move all this shit out of the way because I haven't got room to lean forward anymore. So my last video, you'll know why. One big issue with this figure that I have is the knees. They are really loose. This one, not so much. That seems to stay in. It's a bit tighter. But this one, I don't know if it's because, yeah. That seems a lot better. Yeah, I think I'd just benefit of hollow fucking back thighs. You can see where how shit's meant to line up. Maybe put his heels out as well. That'd help. Yeah. Loads better. Yeah, Voyager Onslaught. He's fucking nice. I like the hotspot version of this mold. I like this mold. There's a lot of differences between this and hotspot that we'll get into in the comparison, but he just looks fucking hench. He isn't my favourite Onslaught because I have the Universe Ultra Class Onslaught, and that can't be topped. Because I've only got 3 Onslaughts. I've got this, the Universe Ultra, and the Fuller Cybertron Deluxe. This one falls bang in the middle and is closer to Universe Ultra than he is Fuller Cybertron in terms of how he would scale, in terms of how much I like him. I really like this figure. Like I said, there's no universe, but he combines. That's the main selling point of this thing, isn't it? Yeah, so to get his legs to hold in place, you kind of need to do the whole chicken leg thing, which is odd, but it can be done without it looking too egregious. It's the best way to hold the fucking things in place. But you know, it's compromises for the sake of having 3 modes. Let's look at his head sculpt. It's a very nice. I'm going to take his guns out because this one actually has the guns, because I think I've mentioned it before. I'll keep the guns on his back as Bruticus. Oh, I think that one's popped out. Let's get a look at his head there. There we are. I don't even need to put my hood up. Lovely head sculpt, very Onslaught. Love the red visor and the mouth guard. Even though everything else is in black, it looks great. The chest, fucking fantastic. I love the detailing in there, and it's all molded detail as well. There's no, I mean, it is painted, but there's no like fucking paint effects like the wiring and the circuit board at the back. That's all molded as well. The Decepticon symbol there. The brown shoulders with these little green things. I think it's green. It's a weird kind of bluey green colour. That is it's a nice colour. I like it. The brown with the purple waist and crotch area, and then gunmetal legs, and the kibble on the back is tucked away quite nicely because he's not a fire truck like Hotspot is. You don't need to put the fucking ladder in that anywhere. There's no ladder to put anywhere, I mean. Nice purple knee pads. Some nice sculpted detail in the forearms there on either side. All in all, it's a really nice figure. It's like I said, the knees are an issue and hollow fucking back legs. They help and hinder, because help, so you can see how you're lining up the fucking things, and but also a hindrance because you expose back thighs. It needs to be exposed though for the Bruticus transformation is the best way I can. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, still a lot of fun to play around with in robot, vehicle, and combined form. And it's definitely one of the. This is the Combaticons. I've mentioned this before. I gave up on the Combiner Wars line, and I didn't give up on it. It's just like, nah, move on. It wasn't like, you're dead to me. But one of the reasons I got back into it was I got my ass kicked by Menasor on Transformers Devastation on the PS4, and I was like, I kind of want Menasor now. Just so I could throw him against the wall. For throwing me against the wall, no, I love Menasor. And the other reason was, sometimes I'll buy a Transformer just for the sake of buying a Transformer. I don't do it anymore as much, but I used to do it quite a bit. I'd be like, well, I want a Transformer. I've got money to spend on Transformers and no Transformers to buy. And there were points where I was like, Scattershot was one of those instances. I was like, $12.99, yeah, I can drop that on him. Got a Transformer out of it. And other ones, I believe Argos and the local Toy Master, they had a couple of the Combaticons in. And I was like, I think one of them had Onslaught. And I think they had a few of different teams. There was no, I had to get Menasor completely online except for Dragstrip. But they had like a couple of Protector Bots, a couple of Combaticons, and I was like, I kind of want to finish these sets now. I bought them because, yeah, I liked them, and I was like, yeah, how much is last stuff? I bought that, not bad price, yeah, I'll buy that. And, oh, there's that one, yeah, I'll buy that. And it got to the point where I was like, right, now, completed him, completed Superion, completed Defensor. Right, let's look at Menasor now. And so it was one of those things where I was just looking for something to buy. I wanted a Transformer, and it was a Combiner Wars Transformer, and that it reeled me in. It trapped me good, and that's how it got into it. But yeah, Brawl was one of those ones that I happened across that I was just like, well, I want a Transformer. Onslaught, sorry. And I was like, yeah, this is actually really good. Knees aside. He poses well. If you get the knees right. He is articulate. He combines. He's just, you know, everything good about a Transformer. And he's big as well. He may not be as hench as others. He might come across as a little bit skinny compared to like maybe, I don't know, Silverbolt or so. I don't know. But he's definitely, is a definite step up from Combiner Wars Onslaught. Not Combiner Wars, this is Combiner Wars. Fall of Cybertron Onslaught. Which, given the whole Siege thing, that version isn't as dead to me anymore. Because I have more of the like video game version, War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron figures. So he kind of like has more of a place in that subcategory. But yeah, still nowhere near as good as this. Let's get to points of articulation, and I'll do a comparison with Hotspot. Head can go a full 360. He can look down a little bit, but I think that's mainly because of the port that where it goes into his chest. Arms can come out. That far, if you've got that bit up. They can go all the way around. Hindered by the backpack somewhat. You'd have to like really fucking move the backpack about just to get it. Elbow swivel, no upper bicep swivel, but it's at the elbow, which is nice. That's fine. Nice ratchet forearms. No wrist action. No waist swivel. I know some of the Prime and Motormasters had the waist swivel. I believe they might be the only ones. Because Hotspot won't. Superion, Betatron, Cyclonus, they don't. I think Grimlock does, but that's later down the line. But yeah, no waist swivel. Nice ratchet outward motion for the legs. And the same going forward. Thigh swivel. Tight thigh swivel. Knees bend. Well, you've got it there. There's like the double joint in the knees. You can bend it there. And then, or you can bend it there at the upper knee, right at the knee joint, or it also bends a little bit in the inside portion of his leg. Oh, have I just fixed his knee properly? I think I might have sussed out the knees without making them look as chickeny. See, they look less chickeny now. They seem to straighten out a bit more. Just basically what I did was I pushed them connectors in a bit further. So it's kind of like an inverted L inside his calf. And that seems to have added a bit more stability. I think it sacrifices a millimetre or two in height, but he stands a lot more easier, sorry. A bit of foot motion that goes up, his toes go up. That's mainly for transformation. Yeah, I think, yeah, I might have sussed out the knee issue. And he's got the heel on the back that goes up. I'm not going to try and play around with the legs too much because it's a bit of an awkward situation, isn't it? Even now. But that's Voyager Onslaught. I really do like this despite the issues with the legs. And it might be a bit long as well. He is very leggy, but I still love it. I can't even say it's because the only other Onslaught I have is a shit Onslaught, that being the Fall of Cybertron one. Because I have the Universe one as well. And in my opinion, in terms of just Onslaught, Universe 2.0 he doesn't just raise the bar, he is the bar. As far as Onslaught goes, he's big and fucking chunky and menacing. And the only thing against him is he doesn't combine. But it's yeah, I do still really like this one, and in spite of having the Universe one, I don't think my opinion would change if I didn't have the Universe one. This is definitely my favourite Onslaught of the two, but I don't think I'd be overly hyping him as much. I feel like my affection for the toy is in the right place. It's a really good toy, has its issues, it's not as good as the Universe Onslaught, but it combines, so, you know, the pros and cons are all balanced out. There's not many cons, really, considering he's a Decepticon. The only real con is his legs. That's a bit of an issue, but everything else is bang on the money. And what Universe Onslaught has that he doesn't, he has that Universe Onslaught doesn't. Big bastard, bulky bastard, and he combines. Even he isn't a skinny little bitch. So, anyway, let's stop rambling on about and get to a comparison with Protectobot Hotspot. Okay, so first thing I want to address, because I did mention before that in the back of his legs, see, that's so much better now. But in the back of his legs, I said that those, oh shit, sorry. if it focuses. Come on. It's really hard to tell because it's dark in there. But there's these levers that kind of go in. And I had them at an almost 45-degree angle. Get them at an exact 45-degree angle, an exact inverted L, and it locks in. So yeah, just figured that bastard out. Funnily enough, figured it out on Hotspot. Because I was looking for Hotspot's heel spurs, and he doesn't have heel spurs that I can see. So that's one of the main, but he has the big ladder thing. So that's one of the main differences between Hotspot and Onslaught. Let's look at some others. The head sculpts are different. I've stopped saying obviously. I've tried to stop saying obviously after what happened with fucking Vortex. But the shoulders are different as well. Notice how Hotspot has that detail in the shoulders, the stripes going across. Onslaught's is plainer. Not worse, just plainer. The chests are different. Onslaught has that nice circuitry detail in the back there with the purple and the red and yellow lights and shit. Whereas Hotspot, a couple of fake windows and more of this grilling that's on his shoulders. So it seems like what Onslaught lacks in shoulder detail, he makes up for in chest detail and vice versa. Going down to the forearms, I believe the forearms are identical. Yeah, there really isn't much difference there except the coloration, which is fine. They are repaints of each other, or retoolings. The waists look the same as well, and upper thighs and hips. Even the legs before the feet appear to be identical. I've got to mention this on Onslaught's general review. They both have that nice detailed grill kind of thing. Purple on his and red on his, covering the silver detail underneath that again is moulded. They've really gone to town on some of the sculpting here. I mean, just look at that. Going down there. That little steel panel there that kind of looks like maybe has been patched up a little bit. It's just some nice little details in this figure. Hotspot has that same detailing, but it's in black, a gloss black, so it's not showing up as well here. The feet are different. That's where the big difference lies, in the legs. Hotspot has those big ass window feet, and Onslaught has nice little slippers on. Yeah. Then obviously the main difference is around the back. Alright, another difference, Onslaught has the heel spurs. Hotspot doesn't. But Hotspot also has that big ass fucking ladder and defensor head kibble, which I don't hate because he had it in the series as well. So I can't be mad at it for that because it, you know, it's accurate. Wheels on the back of the shoulders are the same. The detailing on the back's different though. So, you know, different. And obviously Onslaught has these bits here that cover up the combiner pegs at ports and shit. Hotspot doesn't have those. So, yeah, another difference there. But yeah, Onslaught has his Bruticus kibble on the back. Hotspot has his defensor kibble on the back, and it's different, a lot different. But yeah, all in all, two very nice figures, and I honestly could see both of these being in the top 10 or top 15. That's why I've got like 46 fucking Combiner Wars figures. Not just combiners, but the leaders as well. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be hard to whittle down a top 10. Because I'm not just, if I was doing just the molds, then fair enough. But I'm doing it character-wise. Because it wouldn't be right of me to if I was going by mould and I decided, yeah, I'm going to throw Wheeljack in there, then I'd have to throw Sunstreaker as well, and Sunstreaker isn't top 10 worthy. I don't even think the Brawl tanks are top 10 worthy. But yeah, that's the comparison between these two. They're both very nice. Both very different, but both very the same as well. It's, yeah, I love these two. I really do. So let's get Onslaught in, well, and Hotspot for that matter, for the comparison later. Let's get them into vehicle mode. Okay, so here's where things start to get a little bizarre. I'm not going to say it's where it starts to fall apart, it's just odd. This is Onslaught's vehicle mode, which I know that in G1 he was a very long truck, like a massive flatbed type thing, and he kind of pulls it off here. He's got some wheels, and he's long, and it's another one of those things where I'm glad I kept the guns. I mean, I've got all the weapons from my Combinables figures, I just don't know where they all are at the minute. But yeah, it really helps to hide the, you can see the crest of Bruticus' head there, if you look in the back. It's something, isn't it? I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad. If anything, it could probably pass for a better Cybertronian Bruticus or Onslaught than the Fall of Cybertron Onslaught, because it does look very otherworldly. There's that massive gap that you can see my nose through. Yeah, it doesn't look earthen at all, or Earth-like at all. But that's not a bad thing, because they are from a different planet. If he was trying to pull off the whole standard Earth truck, then no, it doesn't look like anything I've seen on this planet. But he's got a nice otherworldly fucking militaristic look about him. It's weird, that's for sure, but a good weird, because the other ones, they all look like Earth vehicles. You've got like Swindle as a Jeep. I don't even know if Swindle could pass as an Earth Jeep, because there's just that much fucking detail on that mould. Brawl as a tank. And you've got Vortex and Blastoff. They all look Earth-like enough. And then you got Onslaught, who doesn't. Or if he does, it's not an Earth vehicle I've seen. But then I don't know that many military vehicles, so he could pass for something that was made on Earth. I just don't know. I guess you could have that for... No, that just makes it look like the feet. I'd rather have that back, like so. Yeah. Goes Brum Brum well enough. It's just really strange. I feel like if it collapsed a bit more, like the legs went further up, like if that gap was covered by this, then it wouldn't look as odd. But it's kind of a bit... I think that's the front. That looks like the front, but that's taller. So I don't know if that's meant to be the cab. I'm pretty sure that isn't the cab. But, yeah. Let's get to a comparison with Hotspot, because that's a weird one as well. Okay, so I've got to give them credit. They, yeah. You can see how I was confused about what was Onslaught's front end and what was his back end, because on Hotspot, that's the front end, and that's the back end. Oh, God, it's... I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Look at the other ones we've had before, fucking Motormaster's a lorry, fair enough. Optimus Prime's a lorry. Cyclonus, I haven't got to him yet, but spoiler alert, Cyclonus, like Silverbolt and Scattershot, is a jet. Fucking Dezaras is a twat. And I don't even know what these are. I mean, obviously fire truck, military truck. And yes, credit to them for flipping it around. And that's all great. Yeah, it's just so, they look so bizarre. I said that I don't know whether that would pass for an Earth military truck because I haven't seen that many Earth military trucks. I'm pretty sure that doesn't pass for a fucking Earth fire engine. Fucking, I had a teacher at school, not Mr. Boyd. Same school as Mr. Boyd. I think they had lunch together a few times. Mr. Nixon, he was a fireman as well as a teacher, so you often see him running off when I get an alarm and have to go and deal with a fire. I have to abandon class to go and deal with a fire and stuff like that. I don't think Mr. Nixon would drive this or ride in one of these. This just seems odd. And again, not a bad thing. Yeah, Defensor was what, season 2? And it just showed up without warning. The Protector bots did. They're just like, oh, send out the Protector bots. The who bots? So there wasn't really an origin for them. Did they have, I mean, did Hotspot have an Earth fire mode? Fire truck mode back then? I don't know. It's just strange. I like it. It's a good kind of strange. The big fucking, yeah, you've got the hose and stuff on there. You split fucking Defensor's head down and tuck it in there. So you've got the ladder and that, so, you know, plenty of firefighting capabilities. It's just, it could pass for a Cybertronic fire truck. That's how I would look at it. I would look at it as like these two didn't adopt Earth modes. Because this is an Onslaught review, so, you know, back to the back there, Hotspot. I would say they didn't adopt Earth modes. Or in the comics, or in the Combiner Wars comic, did Defensor even go to Earth? Or did he just fight on Cybertron or one of the colony planets? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read it. But I don't think the Combaticons went to Earth. So it kind of makes sense in that regard. But again, I'm not trying to justify these because I think the best analogy I can make, I made this comment about the fucking GTA's Arena War DLC that came out with all the weaponized fucking vehicles and all the Demolition Derby type shit and the spikes and all that. And I put something along the lines of, it's fucking stupid, complete load of bollocks, but I love it. And I think that's the best way to sum up the vehicle modes of both of these characters, because they make no sense, but in a good way. I just like the sheer ludicrousness or ludicrosity or whatever of these fucking vehicles. Robot modes are bang on. Combined modes, bang on. These are still bang on, but it's not immediately obvious what they were going for. I mean, obviously military truck and fire truck, but Earth or Cybertronic, that's open to interpretation, I guess. And I guess that's the beauty of this. It's not restricted to one or the other. You can have Onslaught come, oh, well, Onslaught's on Earth. Yeah, but he doesn't have to have adopted an Earth vehicle mode. We saw that with Megatron in the 07 movie. Oh, Hotspot's on Cybertron. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I believe that. Either way works. And that's the beauty of these. Some of them, you know they're Earth and you know they're Cybertronic. These, you don't fucking know. And it's like, do I really care? Because it's only going to hurt my head even more, and I'm going to fucking giggle like a bitch while taking fucking painkillers trying to figure this shit out. Let's get to, oh, I need a cigarette. I'm going to go for a cigarette, and then I'm going to try and calm my tits a bit. It's like the reverse of fucking Vortex, isn't it? Yesterday I couldn't stop being angry. Today I can't stop fucking chuckling. I'm going to have a cigarette, calm my titties, and then we'll get to the Bruticus mode. Okay, so I've got my giggle fit out the way. I've fucking calmed my titties, as you would. And here we have Bruticus. Fucking love this. He looks fucking hench. He is a fucking monster. And I mean, he just really looks the part, especially compared to the Fall of Cybertron one. But it just, oh. He has an interesting combination, like the torso transforms nice as well, in a way different to Hotspot. Just little subtle differences that make all the difference. I tend to lean a little bit. It's not so much in this configuration, but I've had it before where he tends to lean forward a smidge. Well, that's fine, because Bruticus is a big fucking brute. I mean, standing upright isn't really going to be his thing, is it? So he will lean down and be intimidating, and you've got little bastards, and he'll reach down and grab you and fucking rip you to shreds. But yeah, that is the that's the configuration I usually have. Swindle and Blastoff as the arms, and then I have Vortex and Brawl as the legs. He looks fucking meat like that. He fucking does. But we're going to switch it around a bit. Next up, I think I'm going to go with Swindle as a leg, Brawl, and Vortex as the arm. So I'll just swap those two over and see how that looks. Okay, so I thought he'd lean a bit more with Swindle and Brawl as the arms, but it turns out he actually has a bit more of a lean with fucking the skinnier arms, Blastoff and Vortex. I don't know why, it's just he seems to stand more upright with Swindle as an arm. I don't know whether it's Swindle doesn't hold as stably as a leg, or whether there's, because I'd expect these two to be more top heavy and cause more of a slant over these two, but it turns out that's not really the case. I know he's got nice big fucking legs there, and the arms, they don't look too skinny or anything like that, but it's it causes a leaning issue. Still looks nice though, but we're gonna quickly go and swap the legs and the arms around, see how that looks. I think I've found it, guys. This one doesn't slant forward or lean forward as badly, which is surprising considering the two bulkier figures are the arms and the two leaner figures are the legs. I've got Brawl and Swindle as the arms, Vortex and Blastoff as the legs. And fucking hell, he looks like he will wreck you. More than the other two configurations, I believe. Yeah. I think Blastoff and Vortex hold better as legs than Swindle and Brawl, surprisingly. Brawl has that little issue with his just touch it wrong. It does that, but it holds in nicely enough to get him to do that. I'll say that. He didn't just then, did you bastard? No, it isn't holding in nicely enough. The cock-snogging thunder cunt. But yeah, definitely I like this one. Because it's all up top where it matters. So if you're a little Autobot and you're all like fucking, let's get a little Autobot just for an example. I've got a little Optimus Prime here. So yeah, you've got little Optimus Prime is there fighting the Decepticons and shit, and the Decepticons are like, well, we need to up the ante because it's Optimus Prime. And then Optimus Prime's like there, he's like, yeah, you can't beat me, I am Optimus Prime. And then all of a sudden he sees those two big fucking jet and helicopter legs. And then you look up and you look up, and then you've got fucking massive bastard chest, angry bastard face, and those big fucking arms. Yeah. You're fucked, basically. So yeah, I think I found my ideal Bruticus configuration. And I fucking love it. Massive step up from the Fall of Cybertron one. All the figures are, really. Even though I've bitched about a couple of them. And, yeah, the stuff with fucking Vortex, isn't even his fault, really. He's a bit weak as an arm. His hips don't click in. You've got that little click on the waist swivel. It doesn't hold as well, so it tends to like flop around a bit, much like Brawl. So, you know, compromises and shit. That's probably why I had those as legs originally. But yeah, I feel like this, if Brawl's arm holds together, is the best Bruticus, because he's massive up top, but he ain't a skinny little bitch down below either. And it's Bruticus. He isn't fucking sleek and svelte and fucking sexy, is he? He is a monster. And that's how Bruticus should be. Anyway, I believe that about wraps up my review of Onslaught and Combiner Wars Bruticus. I really do love this set. It's issues individually, some of them, but when you put it all together, fuck me, it's a fucking delight. A vicious fucking delight of murder and mayhem and bastard fucking killage. It's just awesome. I love it. If I do the top 10 combiners, he will be up there. He will be a serious contender for the top spot, even though I have Devastator. People will probably be like, oh, it's all cliche and shit, like, oh, what about Devastator? He should be top. I will say this, when it comes to ranking my top 10 combiner figures, I won't be ranking Devastator as Devastator. I won't rank any of the combiners as combiners when it comes to the figures itself. I'll do the top 10 for the combiners, and then I'll do the top 10 for the figures themselves. Limbs and leaders and voyagers and all that lot. Even if I was going to throw in combiners with the individual figures, if I was going to throw in Bruticus and Onslaught into the same category, into the same listing, I wouldn't put Devastator wouldn't be at the top. So it just goes to show the quality. And yes, Devastator's big and he looks intimidating and awesome, and he is awesome. He's just, there are ones I feel that are better than him. Not combiners as such, but figures. So when it comes to ranking my top 10, I will be looking at the individual limbs, not the robot modes. Combine mode, sorry. Anyway, I've rabbited on enough. I think my phone needs to charge for a bit before I get on with the Cyclonus review. So, I've been Dezaras Prime. This big bastard has been a big bastard, and he has brought me nothing but joy today. And you shall see me in a bitch.